Things just took a sickening turn for the Boston Red Sox and specifically the infielder Marcelo Mayer. I'm here to break down brand new injury updates to this young man and how the Red Sox just lost him for the remainder of this MLB season. We'll break down all of the updates that we have and how we had a good idea that this was eventually going to happen. We'll break down all of that on this episode of Red Sox Digest. But first, please do remember, if you're a part of the percentage watching this video not currently subscribed to the channel, scroll down and click the subscribe button, as nearly 90% of you guys watching this video are not currently subscribed. We do appreciate the love and support, so thank you guys. But now let's get to it and break down a very unfortunate new injury update for Marcelo Mayer, as he is now going to miss at least the next 3 months, which means he'll miss the remainder of this MLB season with the wrist injury he's been dealing with for some time now. The same injury that he had back in 2022 has come back and not only revamped, but has fully sidelined him for the remainder of the season. So we're going to be citing Christopher Smith, who got a bunch of quotes from Alex Cora, including this one. Red Sox Marcelo Mayer will undergo season-ending surgery. It's a 3-month recovery, so he will be ready for spring training, Alex Cora says. Then we got some updates from Chris Calito, and it gave us an idea that this was eventually going to happen. It really felt inevitable for Marcelo, unfortunately, and the Boston Red Sox. But the idea of really what the Red Sox organization and really just the doctors involved in the Red Sox organization taking care of this injury for Marcelo Mayer, I will say it was handled a bit interesting. There was a lot of hope that he was going to be able to take a cortisone shot and be able to get through it and not really have to miss any time outside of the time he's already missed. He would be able to return, because really the pain would be there, but it wouldn't be to the point where it would be just staggering sense of pain. But I just don't like the idea of that. He's a young kid. Obviously, this has been a reoccurring issue. Why would you try to just numb the pain to a certain extent and hope that he plays through it, possibly making it even worse, to just allow him to finish out this year? Let him go to the IL. Let him deal with this surgery. Let him rehab, get back. I know it sucks to see him depart. I know it sucks not seeing him play for this Red Sox organization, and especially in this time and tenure of the season where the Red Sox look to be in a great position going into October up to this point. I just don't understand why the Red Sox would really want to force something with Marcelo in this sense. But again, this is from Chris Calito. My understanding of this Mayer situation is that surgery was always inevitable, but the hope was they could get the wrist to a point where it was about pain tolerance and trying to play through. Clearly, the resumption of baseball activities didn't go as planned. Now, I just don't like this idea. Trying to make him play through it and just understanding the pain tolerance and getting over the pain tolerance and really acquiring the pain tolerance. I don't understand why anyone would want to do that. He's a young kid. He's 22 years of age, 21 years of age, 22 years of age. Let him rehab. Let him go to the IL. Let him have the surgery. Come back next season and play as much of that next up-and-coming season as he possibly can at 100%. Why force him through something and allow him to numb pain to a certain extent to allow him to play, just to have him possibly make it worse and worse as time goes on? I just don't like that idea. Yes, Marcelo has had a lot of bright points in this point in the year, especially on the defensive end, whether it's at shortstop, second base, third, or even we've heard rumors of him possibly even being open to play first base when the time did call upon him. He's very versatile. He holds great abilities, and he's very, very young. I'm not sure why the Red Sox organization would really want to go out there and try to force something in that sense. Now, Tyler Milliken would go on the tweet. The tone about a potential return this season for Marcelo Mayer has turned very negative in the past 72 hours. Nothing definitive yet, but no longer a hopeful tone. Cora didn't sound too positive when he mentioned that Mayer had taken dry swings. Now, we have more detail and more elaborate explanations to those dry swings that Marcelo Mayer took, and resulting in a negative tone coming from Alex Cora. Now, that tweet from Tyler Milliken came just a few days ago. I believe it was 2 days ago, giving us the idea that things had turned very, very negative, and that the hopeful, really, optimism that was surrounding Mayer in this injury had totally disappeared. Then, obviously, this morning we wake up to the updates that we now have from Christopher Smith that we already acknowledged, as well as this article that goes on to say a few pretty key points that we're going to acknowledge. The first one saying the Red Sox rookie Marcelo Mayer will undergo season-ending surgery on his right wrist due to a tear in his TFCC. I'm not even going to try to triangular fibrocartilage complex. I'm not a doctor. The recovery is expected to be 3 months, and so he should be ready for the spring training of 2026, manager Alex Cora said. The 22-year-old infielder received an anti-inflammation injection on August 2nd, but it didn't work the way the Red Sox had hoped. Mayer said the shot, quote, didn't really do much, end of quote, and he had, quote, a few good days and then kind of hit a wall. And again, that is the end of a quote from Marcelo Mayer speaking on the anti-inflammation injection he did receive for that wrist injury he's been dealing with back on August 2nd. Now, the shot he did receive, it was supposed to really tone down the pain and really get the pain to the point that Marcelo could really just deal with it and he'd be able to work through it. Obviously, it wasn't going to solve the issue he was having in his wrist, and that's why when we broke down this tweet from Chris Colito, I really do agree with Chris here and his ideas of why would you do that? Just let him. I know it's always good to have more depth, and you don't want to lose a piece like like Marcelo Mayer, but why would you force this? Why would you just try to numb pain and have him play through an injury that could progressively get worse and worse and worse? And again, I'm not a doctor, so the idea that I'm assuming that things would get worse and worse if they just numbed an injury and allowed him to go play big league baseball where he has to make competitive swings against velocities that could exceed 100 miles per hour, as well as playing defense. Again, shortstop, second base, third base, wherever. Obviously, short and third have been obviously filled since Bregman came back, and Story is now playing at a very, very high level as he just walked off the Marlins just 2 nights ago, or last night. I just don't understand. He's been so good at second base. I don't know why they would try to force it. You could possibly lose him for longer than just a 3-month tenure if things did get worse, if he did try to play through some things. So now we have a more broken down idea of what those dry swings look like and what was the result of taking those dry swings for Mayer. Quote, again, from the Christopher Smith article that we've been citing earlier. He played catch here at Fenway while the team was on the latest road trip this past week. He said he felt fine throwing out to 60 feet, but he couldn't throw much beyond that. He also said the wrist hurt taking dry swings. Mayer had the same wrist issue in 2022, but had a smaller TFCC tear back when he underwent a cortisone shot. Quote, usually when he get a cortisone shot, the injury comes back later on, he said. So I knew eventually I was going to need to do something about my wrist. So really, not only did Marcelo know behind closed doors that he was never home free from this wrist injury and that he was going to have to end up addressing it later on. He just didn't know when that was actually going to take place. Obviously, in present day on August 17th, 2025, he now has to deal with it. And it really does suck because of where the Red Sox currently sit in the standings. These are from 2 days ago, before the last two wins, or the last win over the Miami Marlins. So obviously things have changed ever so slightly, but again, the idea is the same. The Red Sox are very much in the AL race, specifically in the AL East race, only behind the Toronto Blue Jays, who are in a dogfight with the Texas Rangers right now. So they could make up some ground here. Again, it's going to have to be without the versatile infielder in Marcelo Mayer. And again, just to go back to credit Marcelo and why it's so impactful to lose someone like this, despite the Red Sox having to play the last, it feels like, month plus without him. I feel like it's even been longer than that. Back on June 23rd, when Marcelo was initially called up and he had a few games under his belt, he gave us this quote about whether or not he was going to move to second base, and really the idea of where are you going to play defensively? What are you open to playing defensively for the Red Sox? Where he goes out to say, quote, I'm going to give it 100% wherever they want me to play. And that's exactly what we've seen. When he played third base when Alex Bregman was down with that quad injury, we saw diving plays, amazing picks at third base from someone in Marcelo Mayer who moves across the diamond. And again, he's not a rookie at third base because he's done it through his baseball career, not specifically at the major league level, but through college and obviously in high school. It would just be really cool if he was able to find one position and actually play there. But when he has the ability to go out there and be versatile to this capacity, it's hard not to allow him to fill in any slot that needs to be filled, and he is open to do so. So I can't wait to see how this rehab ends up going for Marcelo Mayer. I hope it's quicker than 3 months, even though I don't want them to rush in any way. But again, that is all the updates surrounding Marcelo Mayer and the wrist injury he is dealing with that is going to sideline him for the remainder of this MLB season. Let me know down below your thoughts and comments, and I will see you guys on the next episode of Red Sox Digest.